Hello Internet, welcome to another video where I play strange and scary games. This should be the last game that I record before heading to Korea. This should also come out on Halloween, so happy Halloween. Before we get started, I don't know where I'm going to cut the videos. I don't know where I'm going to start one video, end one video, all that stuff. So if you haven't already, please do the YouTube things. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know down in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like, and we will get into it. This is Call of Cthulhu, the official video game. It is a follow-up to Call of Cthulhu, Dark Corners of the Earth. It was, believe that the Lovecraft estate actually signed off on this one, as opposed to many others. So let's get into it. Boston, 1924. Edward Pierce, veteran of the First World War, drowns his memories in liquor and sleeping pills. He's now a private detective who has trouble finding a case able to lift him from his torpor. Pierce must find a new case quickly or risk losing his license. Enter madness. If I am mad, it is mercy. May the gods pity the man when his callousness can remain sane to the hideous end. Tinnitus simulator. Was to move, game saved. Hello? Now, I have played this before, but I played it on my PlayStation 4. That was probably 3 or 4 years ago. E? Okay. I do like the aesthetics of this game a lot. Is that same animation? How do I do that? How do I light it up? Game? When an object can be picked up, press E. Oh, okay. What is that symbol? Open the door, please. There we go. Hello, Satan?
What a putrid offering. Don't fight. You have been chosen.
Why are you telling me to run? When it said, "Don't fight, you have been chosen," I was expecting somebody to come up behind me.
Behold. Everything has already been written.
More people without faces.
But perhaps you will attempt
More fishmen.
I hate whiskey. I used to be an avid reader.
What did you read? And I can't zoom in. California to Alaska.
The Wentworth Agency doesn't attract top-notch cases.
Okay.
Married woman runs off with her girlfriend. The husband couldn't understand it.
Case closed. The husband never understood that his wife had left him. He kept on calling me weeks after the investigation had been closed.
Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
Yeah, let's turn you off, shall we? Was there something down here?
A good old story of blackmail in a speakeasy.
The bar owner who hired me didn't like the way I closed the case. But when you're already outside the law, there's not a lot one can do against a private detective who's got proof against you. Nothing on the back. Alright.
It's been a while since I jotted down something other than my nightmares.
Pierce Investigation Agency. The doctor can well repeat to me that I no longer need my remedy to keep my memories at bay, but I know that if I stop, the memories will return. One of these mornings, I probably won't wake up. Despite the treatment, I again hear voices in my dreams, but they are different, unknown. They seem to surface from unfathomable and ancient depths. What nameless creature is calling me? Do we have skills? Edward Pierce is a veteran of the First World War, where he took part in the Meuse-Argonne offensive. He is one of the few survivors of the Lost Battalion, American units that suffered heavy losses from enemy and Allied artillery fire. Forced to hold their position for several days, surrounded by the bodies of their fallen comrades, without food or medical supplies, the soldiers were considered as lost by their fellow countrymen. Pierce is traumatized by these events. He consumes sleeping pills and liquor to ward off the nightmares that haunt him. We don't have skills, do we? Nah. 0 character points. My private detective agency, contracted to the Wentworth Detective Agency. That's a very weird way to write that sentence. After the Great War, I decided to set up in Boston, where there is no lack of work for guys like me. One small-time case follows the other. Adultery, settled scores, disappearances that are not actually disappearances. The old office couch is less comfortable than a real bed, and I should probably get rid of these empty bottles, but this place is mine, for the moment. Lost Battalion 10718, my old lighter, that I engraved in memory of the 77th Infantry Division and the men of the Lost Battalion who fell. We've already seen these. No, don't have a drink.
I wonder why I still take these things.
The doctors prescribed them when I returned from the war. They swore that they would put an end to the nightmares, but for a while now their effect has been wearing off. Same as my melatonin. Alright, let's answer the phone. Hello?
I'm listening.
Are you Edward Pierce, private investigator contracted by the Wentworth Detective Agency?
That's correct.
Hello, Mr. Pierce. I'm Lucy Sherifield, in charge of investigators over at Wentworth. I'm calling because of a problem with your file. A fire has destroyed some of our documents.
Is that right?
I'm so very sorry, but I have to collect your personal information yet again.
Alright, so we've got 8 character points now. Let us... Let us get some spot hidden. Let us get some eloquence. What else can we get? 6, 4, 4. Let us get a couple medical. And validate. Yes.
For this information, Mr. Pierce, our files will soon be up to date. And on a related matter, may I raise a sensitive question?
What's that?
What's wrong?
As you know, we wish to closely monitor the progress of our contractors. And it would seem you've been accepting fewer new cases.
Work is scarce.
Mr. Pierce, you know as well as I do, there's never been more investigative work than now.
But are those cases worth it?
They're worth not losing your license. Show yourself worthy of the Wentworth Detective Agency, and we might keep you on the payroll. Mr. Pierce, are you still...
I'm coming.
Sir, I came here on the advice of a person whom I hold in high esteem, and I must say that I expected anything but a drunkard's lair.
Ouch.
You're free to leave anytime, sir.
Do you know to whom you speak?
Stephen
Nope.
Webster, industrialist and art collector. All of Boston knows you.
Tell me, Mr. Pierce, are you capable of handling a new case, or are you simply a deadbeat inebriate?
If you come to me, it means you're desperate.
Nobody believes me. They take me for an old fool. Sarah, my little girl, she is dead. Even you must know of her. She was Sarah Hawkins.
The
Again,
painter.
I don't know her.
Yes. Everyone knows her work.
The police accuse her of killing her family. They all died in a fire. Sarah, her husband, and Simon, my grandson.
I can't do anything for a woman who is already dead.
Find out the truth. They say she was mad, but I know that's a lie. She would never have done such a thing.
But if you have no proof...
I've brought all that I have. Look. I want you to look carefully at this painting. Tell me all the assumptions that come to mind.
What am I supposed to find?
Tell me if this is the work of madness. Or if, on the contrary, you manage to detect some logic, a rationality to follow so that I may understand it.
Is that all you want from me?
Yes, please.
All right. I'll look at your picture. That's all you've got? The painting?
I placed a file on your desk. It contains everything I have on the affair.
I don't know if you guys are listening with headphones. Really cool directional audio. Oh.
What's this symbol on the man's chest? It's as if Sarah Hawkins breathed a message into it.
Intuitive and visionary artist for some, overpriced imposter for others, Sarah Hawkins leaves nobody indifferent. This mysterious and reserved painter offers strange images, with violent colors and wild strokes to the world. If her paintings are testimony to her vision of the world, then the world of Sarah Hawkins is a portal open to other dimensions. Extract from the notebook of Edward Pierce, private detective. This painting depicts a monstrous silhouette threatening a woman and a child. Flames can be made out in the background. Stephen Webster, the father of Sarah Hawkins, thinks that it's linked to the death of his daughter. And we already know that. The Chanty. Marriage on Darkwater. I saw this before, but I don't think I commented on it. US was voted dry. Full Prohibition era.
A warehouse on Darkwater. Some sketches of the Hawkins family. Rather thin.
A shipping label. Some of it is unreadable, but I can make out part of the address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater. The police report. It says that the fire started in the dining room and claimed the whole family. The police decide on a domestic accident, but they, nevertheless, insist on Sarah Hawkins' mental frailty. Why? A press cutting. An article written about the marriage of Sarah and Charles Hawkins, a businessman from the island of Darkwater. They live a recluse life. They are only with their only son, Simon.
So, Mr. Pierce, what do you make of these elements?
Investigation professional. You shouldn't take the painting lightly. Let's do unlocked answer. You shouldn't take this painting lightly.
The meaning could be exactly as it appears. I think your daughter is sending you a message.
That's what I believe, too. It was 3 months ago that I received the call from the police telling me of my daughter's death. And yet a short while after, this painting was delivered to my home. The painting is linked to this case, can't you see? You must find the meaning behind all this.
I don't remember if this will change our outcome.
Her husband was a big deal on the island. But the police are sticking to the accident theory. Though they mentioned Sarah's mental state was fragile. I believe you are right, sir. This case is not as simple as it appears.
I am aware of that. I believe there is more to this case than just an accident.
I would say so. So we've done that. I don't want to do the mental fragility part. That seems not my bag.
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out. Go to Darkwater. Find Warehouse 36.
Darkwater? Never heard of the place. Where is that?
It's a small, remote island off the coast of Boston. Sarah lived there with her son and her husband.
I suppose you want to ship me off there.
Darkwater holds the secret regarding my daughter, Mr. Pierce. You must uncover it.
All right, you got it.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
I'm willing to do anything for my daughter to recover her honor.
Quiet down. I'm on your side. Let's sum things up. An artist dies with her family in a house fire.
Right.
Your only clue is a sort of promontory painting sent from Darkwater right before her death.
Correct. And the rumors about her supposed folly.
Which you don't totally deny.
Find that warehouse. Find out the truth regarding Sarah Hawkins' death. You'll be handsomely compensated.
All right. I'll take the case. I'll go to Darkwater and look into the death of your daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I didn't expect any less coming from a man in your situation.
Something's queer. But it's not like I have a choice.
Why did you say it like that, sir?
Darkwater. I think I've got a book on the North Atlantic. I'll no doubt find some information on this island in there.
Darkwater. Stephen Webster, a wealthy businessman, well respected in the Boston area. Stephen Webster came to see me in order that I investigate the death of his only daughter, Sarah Hawkins. The man accepts neither refusals nor inconvenient truths. He is ready to do anything to prove that his daughter was not mad. Charles Hawkins was a local celebrity on Darkwater, the heir of a shipowner family. He used to travel a lot. He met Sarah Hawkins during a trip in Paris. They fell in love, got married, and Hawkins took her to the remote island of Darkwater. They had a child named Simon, and they lived a very secretive life. Sarah Hawkins, a painter known for her tortured artistic universe. She was worshipped for the strangeness of her work and the rarity of her public appearances. I seem to remember that she once said, "I paint what my dreams whisper to me." Her marriage to Charles Hawkins, years ago, surprised high society columnists. A wealthy Boston heiress known for her party-going chooses to follow her new husband and live as a recluse on the island of Darkwater. She disappeared from the front pages of newspapers, and nobody heard any more about her. Even her death in a fire remained a secret. Only her father, Stephen Webster, continues to seek the truth. Only son of Sarah and Charles Hawkins, he died in the fire that claimed his whole family. Already saw all this. All right. Book on the Atlantic.
Darkwater is off the coast of Boston. But I've never heard of it. According to this book, it was often mentioned during whale hunting times at the end of the 19th century. But it seems to have been shunned since then.
Darkwater Island has been inhabited since the 14th century and is still rich with many memories left by its lost tribes. But don't let the romanticism of these moving evidences of such naive and primitive beliefs fool you into forgetting how violent their gods were. A gigantic creature still ornates the wall of long-abandoned caves. Was it a sea or a dream god? No one knows. But today's inhabitants, the sons and daughters of the proud whale hunters, still remember the mysterious and tumultuous story of their small land off the coast of Massachusetts.
All I have to do is go to the port. I just hope that I can find a boat able to take me to Darkwater.
Do we need anything else? We don't need a hat. We don't need clothes. We're all good. All right, let's go. Pierce took the Hawkins case. The cursed artist is accused of having caused the fire that killed her and her family. As the only clue, she left her father a disturbing painting. On the shipping level, an address, a warehouse set on the docks of Nile and Darkwater. The place seems to be the starting point for Pierce's investigation. I may have to go take an allergy pill. I can already feel my throat starting to do the thing. Oh, to be on a ship in Boston.
We're almost there.
I kind of like that green tint has become the Matrix and Lovecraft. You want to tell somebody you're doing a Matrix movie or a Lovecraft? Green tint. It's all you need. Is it Scylla and Charybdis? Is that the reference? It's been so long since I've taken mythology, I can't remember.
Stay on board. There's guys coming to unload. Welcome to Darkwater Island, Mr. Pierce.
Why, thank you, Captain Fitzroy.
So, what wind brought you?
Does the Hawkins case mean anything to you?
A sad story that we would all prefer to forget. Charles Hawkins may have been a landlubber, but he was a good man.
And his wife, Sarah Hawkins.
A nice young woman, and a great painter. What a tragedy.
What is that?
You know what? Go have a drink at the Stranded Whale. What you need is a good pick-me-up. Mitchell may not be very welcoming, but his bar holds a surprise for you. As for me, you'll find me at the Harbor Master's office. If it's the Hawkins family that brings you here, I have a pile of documents that should interest you.
Understood. I'm going for a look around the docks.
Thank you for being immediately helpful in a slightly suspicious way. So is the...
Hey, Sullivan. Can't you go any faster?
You've seen how old this thing is. If we force it too much, we'll break everything.
You can't do that.
But it's only a fish.
A fish? You've got no idea. Don't badmouth what you don't know, or you'll pay for it for sure.
Okay, that's enough. Step back and let us do our job.
That's no way to treat an omen. Oh yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Don't put
Yeah, I'd say so.
back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy.
They're cops. They can't understand.
Damn stupid idiots.
Fuck cops.
Get it. Nobody listens to us anyway. That's no way to treat an omen. Oh yeah? He's gonna get us...
The same goes for you, sir. Move along.
I'm looking for this address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
Ah. And so who are you?
I didn't introduce myself. Edward Pierce, private detective.
In any case, it's not very important. I can't answer that.
You can't? Or you don't want to?
Oh, no. I'm not getting into those games, me. Now, please, allow me to do my job.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
The blood is just beginning to coagulate. It died a short time ago. Only a specialist would know what killed it.
You can't understand. You're not sailors.
All right.
It's a sign. There's something coming.
So the bar being called the Stranded Whale, and then there being a stranded whale over there. Not sure if that's a visual joke or not. Rude.
Hey, be careful.
Probably not the best way to make friends. Hi there. You're not a fishwoman, are you?
Let's get him another drink. He's dry.
In my bar, we don't serve troublemakers.
Yet you served this man, and you can't say he's been on his best behavior.
He's a regular. It was you who provoked him by turning up with your mainland manner.
You mistake my manner. I ask nothing more than to become a regular as well, which will be difficult if you refuse to serve me.
I hope you're less talkative when you're drunk.
Try me.
We'll see.
No prohibition?
I didn't expect to find alcohol on this island. What's the source of this miracle?
You mean who? Our source of supply wouldn't like me to betray them to the first comer.
I'll tell nobody.
She'd know it anyway.
She.
Anything else?
What can you tell me about her?
We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. Then, I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Her style made her famous. How would you describe it? Tortured?
Yeah, well, it wasn't normal. I mean, for a young woman with a child and all that. We saw them in the papers and we said to ourselves, who can paint such things? Is that how she sees the world?
So they made you feel uncomfortable?
You need to see them for yourself. Make up your own mind.
Can we do both of them? I thought this was a choice.
Her vision. Was it so terrible?
Way I see it, the truth is really a question of point of view.
What do you mean by that?
Do you still trust the truth after a bottle of whiskey?
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
The stranded whale. I guess this bar has been here a long time.
What can I tell you? I'm a nostalgic sort of guy. The name, it reminds us of the golden age of dockwater.
Stranded
The
whale?
whalers left for long months and came back, sweating and stinking of the oil and flesh of the whales they'd been hunting.
It was a tough time, all the same.
Ah, but steeped in glory. We've never known such wealth since then.
Do you know where this place is? Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
The Hawkins warehouse. I see, yeah. If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, there are rumors.
What's the rumors?
Tailors from around here say you can hear noises coming from the warehouse at night.
Seems suspicious.
Screams, that sort of thing.
Screams.
And that's not all. There's the fate of its owners and all the superstitions that go with it.
Yep.
But I'll say no more. Anything else?
That'll be all for now.
We're not going to get the bad ending because I chose not to order a drink, are we? Hi there.
What you looking at, stranger?
The clientele is predominantly male.
Tell me something I don't know.
I meant nothing by it. I'm just wondering what a woman like you is doing in this flea trap.
And I'm wondering what could be going through the head of the chump who goes to disturb her. Let me drink, stranger.
Stranger. Anything else around here?
Do you like our song?
I love it.
We're true sirens. We may not be pros, but we give it all we've got.
You were
That's
made for
true.
American Idol.
It's a reminder of the time when we were still fishing for whales off Darkwater Island.
What brought whaling to an end?
The whales, of course.
They all disappeared.
You exhausted the stocks.
You could say that, yes. There were fewer and fewer of them.
Until the last, the biggest.
The one of the miraculous catch.
Miraculous catch.
Exactly.
I've never heard this song before.
Only people from here know it. It tells the story of the miraculous catch.
It's a local legend?
Watch what you say, young man.
That catch saved our island.
Ah. Where's the proof?
We're the proof. Without it, the whole of Darkwater would have died of hunger in 1847.
1847.
Everything happened just as it says in the newspaper report.
What report?
The one that's framed right behind you. Our grandparents tasted its flesh.
And it was delicious.
Get the feeling it wasn't a
Bid you
whale.
farewell, gentlemen.
Good night, stranger.
So
Stranger.
long.
Nightmares. Can hear things and voices whispering. Will follow its reader and appear at various locations, gifted with its own consciousness, until it finds a new reader.
Necronomicon? Is that the voice actor who did Baldur in God of War? He sounds familiar.
The miraculous catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
The Scylla returns to port to save Darkwater from famine. We had given up hope. The crew of the Scylla, or what remains of it, returned to Darkwater port late on Tuesday afternoon. Locals immediately rushed to the docks to welcome the last whaling ship on the island. People were amazed at the sight of the unbelievable catch the brave vessel had on board. Alright.
You have no right to treat us like this.
And the doctor, what did he say?
He laughed.
My God.
You said it.
Anything else in here?
Charles Hawkins was a heavy drinker and a debtor.
$68. Wasn't he rich? Alright, before we move on, we've only got one character point. Let's save it for now. Roy Mitchell. Roy Mitchell runs the only bar on Darkwater. Prohibition has no hold on the stranded whale, and sailors come to seek some comfort in Mitchell's whiskey. The man therefore knows, more than anyone, the secrets and rumors that the inhabitants of the island exchange after a few glasses. Mitchell is devoted to the golden age of whale hunting, if the numerous trophies that decorate his establishment are anything to go by. The man will freely talk on the subject on which he is so keen, but he will be far less enthusiastic if one was to inquire about his source of liquor. It would seem that the world has forgotten the very existence of this isolated rock off the coast of Boston. It is a small, inhospitable island whose coastline is made up of steep cliffs and sharp reefs, and with only one outlet to the sea. It is mainly inhabited by the descendants of the whalers who set up a supply post there in the 1800s. It was hit severely by the collapse of this activity. I think that the only venture on the island that is still profitable is its medical institute. Darkwater Port. At the entrance of the port of Darkwater, one still passes in front of the shell of the Scylla, the last whaling ship to have brought back a catch. Sailors wander the docks looking for some small job for the day. A gang of bootleggers has set itself up there and is gnawing away at the territory of Captain Fitzroy, the last sailor to own a boat capable of making a round trip between the island and the mainland. Here, the golden age of whale hunting is but a distant memory. The Stranded Whale, a bar where liquor is served with total impunity. It's the last thing I expected to find when I arrived on this island. The Stranded Whale is its name, and it's managed with an iron hand by the owner, a certain Mitchell. He does not tolerate troublemakers, and he fiercely protects the identity of his supplier. All the inhabitants of the area seem to go there, and I even saw what looks to be a truce between the bootleggers and the sailors. The miraculous catch is what the locals call the last catch of their whalers. In 1847, although whales were disappearing from the fishing zone, the Darkwater whalers, the crew of the Scylla made a gigantic and monstrous catch that saved the island from famine. They still celebrate this catch, and an article from the Times still decorates the bar. It's strange how memory seems so alive, as if it was maintained by the survivors. Extract from the notebook of Edward Pierce, private detective. We already read this. Warehouse for rent. Mr. Marks is putting his warehouse up for rent from June for fishing, workshop, or storage activities. You can contact him via your favorite newspaper or visit him on the docks. To celebrate the return of our brave whalers, all the staff of the Stranded Whale invite you to an exceptional and free tasting event. Come with your family or with friends to taste the miraculous catch. Each person will leave with a bottle of oil, so don't hesitate. We already read this. Yeah. Let's, we need 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. No, 4. Okay, so we can't improve these with skills. With skill points, we need to actually find things to improve. Alright. So let's go talk to Fitzroy real quick. This is really cool. I like how the lantern does that. That's a really cool effect. City of Darkwater, Harbor Master. What's in your drawer over here?
I wonder what Captain Fitzroy has got to say about this woman, Cat.
Captain, the terms of our agreement are clear. Keep your men under control. You cannot afford to provoke us. No need to answer this message. Just make your payment to the carrier. Pat. Is it going to lock us in if I walk too close to you? Can I look around a little bit?
Broken. This place seems half abandoned.
I'm assuming it doesn't get much foot traffic.
Fishing equipment. Could do with some rust remover. A souvenir from a more prosperous era. I guess this blackboard hasn't been wiped for more than 70 years. The Scylla. It finished up beached at the entrance to the harbor.
Don't mind me, just gonna step into your office here. Learning of Medicine, Volume 2. The second volume teaches ethics and good practice to medical staff. Medicine progression. You still good over there? Not gonna start any trouble?
This man and Fitzroy could be twins.
In this photograph, a man who looks like Captain Fitzroy is posing on the bridge of a ship. He has a wooden leg. Does Fitzroy have a wooden leg? Nothing in there.
What a macabre souvenir.
Oh, that's the wooden leg. Do you pronounce it macabre or macabre? I usually hear it macabre. Doesn't it have a French etymology? Not that that means anything. You found the bathroom. I like how we're just walking around this guy's office and he's just standing there waiting for us, like... Okay, what's up?
I've brought out the Charles Hawkins cargo manifests. They're on the table next to you. But in truth, you're likely to be disappointed. When you're done, come join me on the deck.
Which table? Oh, that table.
These manifests are signed by Charles Hawkins. But that's all I'll get from them.
Only a few dates are still legible, 1890 and 1907, and a partial date. The rest of the document is blacked out. Who would want this information to be hidden? Is there anything back here? Hey, Captain, you don't have a wooden leg, do you? Guess not.
From here, I see everything that goes on in the harbor.
Do you?
The hard-working lives of my sailors, the fights at the stranded whale, even the antics of these wharf rats don't escape me.
It's you who lays down the law around here.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I'm just the last serving captain on Darkwater. Tell me what I can do to help you.
Your manifests have been blacked out. They're totally unreadable.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got no idea who did it or why. I don't remember having countersigned anything special enough for someone to hide it.
And why obliterate the dates, as well as the goods stored in the warehouse?
You mean that the dates have some meaning?
I'm surprised Charles Hawkins had goods to store, knowing that whaling stopped in 1847.
I see that you're interested in the history of our island. Indeed, maritime activities ceased altogether at the end of the last century.
Altogether?
I imagine that the Hawkins family had other types of contracts.
But you don't know with whom?
No, it was none of my business.
Not just whales, but also all fish?
I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Do you know where it is?
Look, it's right there. The warehouse is opposite the jetty. You can't miss it.
The one with the cop out in front of it.
You know who the building belongs to, don't you?
Pat?
It belonged to the Hawkins family.
Precisely. Ship owners from father to son.
I think that somebody here wanted me to search this warehouse. I found a threatening letter signed by a certain cat.
What? I don't mind you visiting my harbor master's office, but I'd prefer if you didn't go through my affairs.
You watched me do
Are
it.
you being blackmailed?
Not exactly, no. That shyster wants to make us pay protection money.
With any success?
I wouldn't say that, but she terrifies my men as much as her own.
Can you not do anything to stop her?
Don't you worry about that.
I was looking at your photograph. The one of the man in front of the boat.
Ah, yes, I can see the one you're talking about.
Was that your dad?
Interesting resemblance. I thought it was you, but with a wooden leg.
And for good reason. That's my father in the photograph.
Fair enough.
Your father?
John Fitzroy, captain of the Scylla. His wooden leg is here. You can go and see it if you're interested.
We did, yeah. We got that.
I'm just back from the wharves. The dead killer whale is unsettling the sailors.
Ah, yes. Us men of the sea are superstitious folk.
I've heard.
The police took the decision to put the killer whale back into the sea.
You've got to understand them. They didn't know what to do with it.
I think that was a mistake. Who says that whatever caused those wounds is no longer in these waters?
You think we should have kept it?
To look into the real cause of its death, at least.
Use the bones for something.
Killer whales don't have many known predators.
That's true. And normally, they're not found around here. But, you're gonna take me for a fool.
Tell me what's on your mind.
Try.
Have you heard about the depths? Trenches that plunge into the earth and that shelter creatures unlike any other.
I have
You're
indeed.
talking about mythology.
Ha! Indeed, you're right.
The miraculous catch. Is it a local legend?
Not at all. It's an episode from our glorious past. Go read the story of the sailor's return to
I already did.
Harbor. It's displayed on a wall of the stranded whale.
I already did.
I shall be on my way.
So come back and see me when you've got something new.
There's something coming. Something real bad. Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy. They're cops. They can't understand.
How you doing, buddy? Fishing good? Oh my god, that's such a good shot. What is this? Let me look at it. Let me look at it. What are you?
St. Brendan. Patron saint of sailors and travelers. Desecrated. I can't even say which language it's written in.
Should rewatch The Lighthouse sometime.
There.
Why am I doing this? The spot hidden skill allows you to detect hidden items in a close range. Once all these items are found, something.
Hello, old friend.
Bottle of liquor. Is there anything else in here? Close the door. I guess that's it. I feel like since it's still pulsing, that there's still something here, but I don't see what it could possibly be. I know gamers don't look up and all that. Ah, there it is. Kat knows about the thefts from her stock of liquor. She'll soon find out who it is, and I wouldn't like to be in his shoes.
Somebody's stealing from the bootlegger's stock of liquor.
Yeah, there we go. It's interesting that I just saw the statue here and decided to go buy it, and we found a clue. How do I put the lighter away? I guess I don't. Alright. Is there anything over here? I know we go that way later. You got anything to say?
You live here?
Why did you do that, huh?
Do what?
We saw what you did to St. Brendan. Yeah, we'll teach you to come onto our island and ridicule our protectors.
I didn't do anything.
I respect your beliefs.
Our beliefs? You mean you don't believe in God?
Not particularly.
That's irrelevant.
That's what you think.
There's you, our beloved statue, and then those two bozos behind us. Wait, now that I think about it, it's got to be them. There's one of them who's always going back and forth to the statue.
Quieter. That's all we need for them to hear us.
What brings you to dark water?
That statue represents your local saint.
What do you mean by local, exactly?
The island saints, the saint of the islands.
Like all townspeople do.
St. Brendan. He protected whalers and fishermen like us.
Travelers.
Till those assholes defaced him.
Peculiar house.
Yeah, that's where we live. Our boat.
It's not because it doesn't float anymore that we're going to abandon it.
Isn't it a bit early for alcohol?
We got nothing better to do anyway. There's not much work around here.
Fitzroy gives us a few chores every now and again, but since the whaling station shut down, ain't a lot of jobs left around here.
So we drink.
Okay.
The two guys behind you. What are they guarding?
The bootleggers. Scum.
They're protecting their territory. From whom, I wonder?
They really
Was
don't
Hawkins
have
a bootlegger?
choice anyway. They're more scared of Cat than an attack by drunken sailors.
If only they would kill each other.
Is it Kat who's shaking down Captain Fitzroy?
Oh, hold on just a minute. We didn't tell you a thing.
Nothing at all.
You kind of did.
I've taken enough of your time.
We'll see you later.
I really wish I could put the lighter away.
No. Who's this guy? No idea. You better keep it shut.
Why, we don't have a clear conscience.
Quiet. What's with you wandering around here like a hungry dog?
We saw you talking to the two soaks. Go die of thirst, the lot of you. It'll stink less.
I've got to enter the Hawkins warehouse. I guess it's going to be complicated.
No, it's very simple, in fact. Fuck off.
Can't do that.
I don't give a damn about your racket. I just want to get into this warehouse.
And we don't give a damn about you. Whatever your reason for wanting inside, there's nothing we can do for you.
What will Kat say when she finds out that it's you who are filching stock?
You've got no proof.
That's true. Apart from this little note from your friend here.
You didn't throw it away?
I couldn't know that someone was gonna force the lock.
What a So, what is it you want?
To get into the Hawkins warehouse.
That's all. Go on, then. And we never want to see your rat snout again.
Let's see.
So if I hadn't chosen points in investigation and
I'll have to find another way to get in.
Spot hidden.
Well, well. A little mouse has got lost on our turf. You're not only inquisitive, you're also stupid. What gave you the crazy idea to come onto my turf?
This muddy alley is yours? Good for you. I've got work to do.
I don't think that you've quite understood the situation. I'll tell you how things work around here. I decide who comes in and who stays out. And anyone who doesn't respect my rules, I punish them.
Is your name Kat?
What of it?
Maybe we can come to an understanding.
Maybe. Or maybe not. Get this joker out of here. He might have a little trouble walking on his own.
Did you just kick me in the balls?
Oh, I'm getting careless. I didn't see that coming. If I want to get into this warehouse, I'm gonna have to deal with her.
So if I didn't choose investigation and spot hidden, would that whole thing have been a lot harder than it was? What's over here?
How could you be dumb enough to leave the entrance to the warehouses unguarded?
Keep your voice down. Why not go and shout at the cat while you're at it? I don't want to end up with her little knife under my throat.
It's a stiletto, you idiot. And with that smell on your breath, I don't give you much chance anyway.
Where do you think you're going?
Who are these others so interested in the warehouse?
And why
I
would
think
tell
I
you?
skipped something.
You and I are on the same side of the law.
Oh, yeah?
You don't want to know the truth behind this case.
Are you saying our work was not up to snuff? Forget it.
I'm not here to hinder your work, officer. Edward Pierce, private detective.
Sorry, we're all a little on edge today. What are you doing here?
I'm investigating the death of the Hawkins family.
Darn it. Why do you want to drag up all that stuff again?
My investigation has led me to this warehouse.
That case was closed months ago.
What more can you say about the death of the Hawkins family?
Not much more than what everyone knows. I wasn't on the case. They were all burnt to death, right? Up at their place.
The whole mansion went up in flames.
Don't get it into your head to go wandering around up there. It's dangerous.
What do you mean by that?
The only one left there is old Silas, and the accident has affected him badly.
Who's
It can be
Silas?
unpredictable, especially if a stranger starts poking around the property.
Is he a danger to the public?
No, he's in his own home. Do yourself a favor. Leave him well alone.
Good advice. Wish I could take it.
Get it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
That's no way
It's just this, the stranded whale, the beached whale, whatever the bar is.
Prohibition is just a joke around here. That suits me fine.
What? Another break? Hey, Mitchell! A drink for our new friend. I owe you. You don't know how to fight, but at least you've got guts.
Yeah, aching guts.
Huh. I've got them too. But you don't hear me whining like a pooch who's lost its leash. You didn't back down. Something that I respect. So understand by that, if I catch you again, you'll carry a more permanent reminder of our encounter. Tell me, what brings you to Darkwater?
I'm investigating the deaths of the Hawkins family.
It's very nice of you to tell me the truth so openly.
Why would I?
But it's also really stupid of you. You really don't seem to know the area. Let me give you a little advice. If you want to survive more than a day in this rat hole, avoid talking about them to the first people you meet.
I need to get into the Hawkins warehouse.
You're out of luck. It's on my turf.
It's precisely for that reason that I've come to see you.
Are you pulling my leg?
Think it over. I've seen what you're capable of. And you didn't miss me.
I accept the compliment. Well, I see you're serious.
Yeah?
To be honest, as long as it doesn't interfere with my business, I don't care.
Cool.
But I'll go with you, to make sure you don't stick your nose into things that don't concern you.
As long as I get into the warehouse.
I'm not finished. If I do that for you, if I let you onto our turf to conduct your little affairs...
Come on.
You'll be indebted to me.
Okay.
And I guarantee that I always collect on what I'm owed.
Quid pro quo.
I help you, you'll owe me a favor in return. Do you accept?
Sure.
Do I have a choice?
Oh, we always have one, Detective. Follow me.
Nobody questions your authority here. I was given to believe that Fitzroy stood up to you.
That dope tried to save face in front of his sailors. They revere their brave captain as they do their old statues. But sooner or later, all statues get buried in bird shit, and nobody cares.
And the police? They do nothing to stop you?
The local cops? The cops drink like everyone else, sweetheart. They know where their interests lie. Apart from that pig-headed Bradley. I don't know whether to admire his stubbornness or to have pity on him.
Put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy.
They're cops. They can't understand.
Damn stupid idiots.
Get it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
Are we done talking? Awkward.
We saw this guy poking around here.
It's fine. He's with me.
Oh, okay.
Any chance you could walk a little bit faster, or... Come on. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in.
That's how it's done.
Okay.
Do I still need to hold your hand? Or do you think you'll get by on your own now?
Just let me get in.
Good. In that case, I'll leave you. I've done enough mothering for now.
Sure. If that's what you want to call it.
Ugh, this place stinks.
What do we have? 3 character points. Not sure whether I want to go more spot hidden or more investigation.
What is the connection between this place and the Sarah Hawkins case?
Okay, cool.
Who has enough money to buy painkillers, but stays in a place like this?
I don't know.
Can't sleep. I know how that feels. It smells as bad as it looks. Is this one of Sarah Hawkins' paintings?
Let me look around some more.
What happened here?
Somebody was angry and naked, it looks like. Angry and naked.
What is this picture of Charles and Sarah Hawkins doing here?
All right. Nothing else here? Do we need to leave now? James Fitzroy. James Fitzroy is the captain of the Charybdis, the only boat that still sails between Darkwater and Boston. His base is the harbor master's office, from where he misses nothing that happens on the island. The inhabitants of Darkwater respect him. The bootleggers despise him. He offered to help me in my investigation. Cat, boss of the gang of bootleggers, which seems to use Darkwater as their hideout. Cat always keeps an eye on her territory, the zone of abandoned warehouses on the docks. I have the impression that all the men on Darkwater fear her. Even Mitchell, the owner of the stranded whale, is reluctant to talk about her. She uses Darkwater as the point of departure for her cargoes of whiskey, and she is slowly gnawing away at Captain Fitzroy's territory. St. Brendan. Does the patron saint of whales and whalers still protect the sailors of Darkwater? Visibly, there were other gods before St. Brendan, and their worshippers do not seem to be of this opinion. The locals still worship the old saint, but a mark was made on the statue by another cult. Extract from the notebook of Edward Pierce, private detective. Seen all this. Hawkins Warehouse, officially unused since Charles Hawkins' death. This warehouse recently housed a clandestine resident. Signs of life attest to that fact. The presence of blood-stained bandages must also be noted, probably removed from a wound, as well as pills, painkillers and sleeping pills. Moreover, the occupant seems to be obsessed with Sarah Hawkins, as attested by the presence of several documents connected to the artist's life, photograph, and press cutting. But it is the discovery of a partly charred painting, recognized by Officer Bradley as having come from the Hawkins mansion, that allows all doubts to be lifted as to the link between the contents of this building and the Hawkins case. I think we got some information before we were supposed to. This bottle is part of a batch stolen from Cat, the boss of the bootleggers. An excellent way to lean on the guy who guards the entrance to the warehouse. We still need to find, where is it? Learning of Medicine, Volume 1.
Someone has settled in here. And whoever it is has something to tell me about the Hawkins case. Is there anyone in there? You! Don't move! Detective Pierce. I told you to stay away from this warehouse.
You did say that.
Look around you. Someone has settled in here. Can you explain what this painting is doing here?
This strange portrait. Wait, I know it. It was in the Hawkins mansion when we came to investigate the fire.
So you confirm that it was removed from the crime scene? Interesting. I'd like to go and see the mansion now.
Of course. You want to go back along his trail? I'd like to understand how this painting made it to here. Come on. My car's parked down the way. Andrews, would you please shut the door? Open your eyes, damn it. This guy went right under your nose. God damn it. Her again. This case has nothing to do with you, Baker. Clear the passage or I'll shut you up for obstruction.
Pat Baker.
Officer Bradley. You've finally grown a pair. Too bad you're too fat to see them down there.
Why you?
Come on, keep the smile. You don't want to force me to widen it.
Okay, I get it. Can we go to the mansion now?
I thought I'd straightened you out, mister. I am disappointed, but we'll meet again.
Is it far, this mansion?
Look behind you, at the top of the ridge. You see the building? That's the Hawkins mansion. Come on, we got some driving to do.
Chapter 3, Garden of the Hawkins Mansion. Pierce managed to get into the warehouse. The place, thought to be abandoned, revealed some surprises. Signs of recent occupation, as well as a partly charred painting. Interrupted in his searching by Officer Bradley, Pierce convinced him to join his investigation. The police officer is willing to drive the detective to the Hawkins Mansion. I'm going to take a quick break. I will be right back. Never mind. As soon as I hit Alt, the animation started. So we'll let the animation play, and then I will go take a quick break. Who's watching us?
Well, here we are. Hawkins Mansion. The place has been abandoned since the fire. There's only old Winchester in his hut.
Alright. Now I'm going to go take a break. Alright, we're back.
Your partner, Andrews, warned me against him.
You managed to get something out of that bum? I'll end up asking you for advice.
He talks too much. He inferred that old Silas was slightly unhinged.
That's not far off the mark, I suppose. But kinda unfair at the same time. You know, Silas Winchester has been working for the Hawkins family as far back as I can remember. Charles was like a son to him. The day of the fire, he lost his whole family, so he's got nowhere to go. And, as you'll see, in a way, he's still watching over them. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
That's morbid.
Or do you want to go up there?
I see no scorched trees or fire damage on the building.
You're pretty damn observant, ain't you? The fire was quickly contained. Old Silas acted as soon as he could.
Not soon enough to save the Hawkins.
They were trapped in the drawing room. And don't go troubling Silas anymore. His guilt torments him enough as it is. Are we gonna take a closer look at this mansion, or do you have other questions?
What's he have guilt about, though?
You're the one who looked after the Hawkins case.
Don't think I was trying to hide it. It's just that this discovery shakes my convictions.
That's why you're so keen to find out who removed the painting from the mansion.
That makes sense.
Yes. If something escaped us, or if there's been a law enforcement error, then it's up to the police to make good its mistake. Anything else?
You won't get me to believe that it looked any better 3 months ago.
It's a very old building, you know? Its foundations would probably date from the arrival of the first settlers.
It's got nothing to do with Charles Hawkins' debts.
Ha! You've already begun to nose around, it would seem. So, since you already know it...
Private investigator.
Hawkins' family couldn't afford the upkeep of this house. It remains to be seen what they did with all their money. I wager it was Charles Hawkins' travels. Let's go up there. Unless you still have questions.
I prefer to be prepared if there's going to be trouble.
It's a wise attitude. But apart from old Silas and some rotten floorboards, there's nothing to worry about.
All right.
Could he be a problem?
Strictly speaking, he ain't dangerous. But since the tragedy, he's been a little touched. Though, he's a remarkably sturdy man, given his age. A true force of nature.
A sad old man doesn't worry me.
Gee, if you don't want to listen to my advice, we might as well go. Right?
Sounds good. Let's go.
Night falls quickly here, and I want to be able to see when we arrive.
I'll go with you, if only to reassure Silas.
Why not? You can help.
Right. Let's go.
Are you just gonna leave the lights on? Your battery's gonna run out. You shouldn't just leave lights on. It's not good for your car battery. Okay. If you say so.
Bradley was right. This place is much older than I imagined.
1693 by Reverend John Wickwood. I didn't know John Wick was a reverend. Hi there. Are you a raven? Can you say nevermore for me? Hello?
Someone must really hate Charles Hawkins.
I told you. Silas Winchester is still watching over the Hawkins family.
I must say, it's pretty gloomy.
So, Detective, does this place inspire any thoughts?
Do you know if Charles Hawkins had any enemies?
Not to our knowledge. He was a well-respected personality on the island. I don't understand. Silas would never have let such a thing happen.
I keep checking my camera because I'm afraid he's going to wander behind my camera.
Why were they buried here?
I was given to believe that it was Charles Hawkins' wish.
Strange idea. I imagine Webster wasn't too pleased.
Mrs. Hawkins' father? It's said that he's devastated.
Let's go to the mansion.
Please give me a minute. I didn't expect to set foot back here after the burial.
The flowers on Sarah Hawkins' grave are fresh. Poor kid.
Yeah, that's sad. Anything else? Nothing. This is a really cool design. I really want to get good enough at Blender that I'm able to make things like this.
This entrance is still in use.
Whoa!
Whoa!
You are trying to force the door, you nosy prick!
Easy, sir, all right? Put down the axe.
You know what we do with rubble like you?
We gut them. Dump them into the ocean.
You're Mr. Winchester. Lower that axe. And let's talk calmly.
I'll show you how we have it out on Darkwater.
You haven't forgiven yourself. You stay here to honor the memory of the deceased.
That's true. I want no more violence. No more tragedy.
That was easy.
It's painful to be the last one left.
You don't know how right you are.
I
Understood.
actually do.
I'm listening.
The police report describes a domestic accident, but Stephen Webster has several reasons to believe that this may not be the case.
Webster is as stubborn as an old mule. And I did tell him that we should let the dead rest in peace.
He wants to restore the reputation of his daughter. I just need to see where the fire started.
No, I can't let you in. The mansion isn't safe.
That's why you barricaded the entrance.
That's right.
And this door?
It's locked, and I make sure it stays that way.
No one lives in the mansion, and you don't take care of it anymore. If you have a good reason to be here, I'm listening.
There's vermin. I keep an eye out.
Vermin?
Yeah, that's it, vermin.
Right. This is what we're going to do. I go inside, and I promise that I'll hunt vermin. Okay with you?
I'm not sure.
If there's nothing else to fear, you can give me that key.
Right. Take the key and do what you have to do. Go on, then. Just to get rid of you.
Let's see what more I can learn from this mansion.
That was easy enough.
Pierce, shall we enter?
Is there anything else out here?
What now?
I'm just checking. I'm just checking. I'm just checking. I love that lighthouse. I don't think there's anything else out here. Ooh, what's this? Can I come in here?
The poor wretch seems to spend the best part of his time isolated from the world.
Seems pretty nice to me.
Rather Spartan. The caretaker has simple tastes.
Look, he's got a great view of that lighthouse. He's got a great view of that house. If he has any books? No books? If he has any books, it's like a nice lifestyle. Can I not, like, open the window or anything? Okay. Yeah, just give me, like, a library at the bottom of the hill, and I'm good with that.
Pierce, shall we enter?
Sure, let's go.
Let's take a look inside.
I'm with you.
Pierce and Officer Bradley explored the gardens of the Hawkins mansion. The family lies in the graveyard of the property, guarded by Silas Winchester. The old caretaker, still faithful to his employers, keeps watch on the place, armed with an axe. Pierce and Bradley manage to calm him down and finally get hold of the key to the Hawkins mansion. They enter the building, looking for the scene of the fire.
Follow me. I know the place.
Before we do that... Well, we still got 4 character points. Officer Bradley, this hick cop likes order and justice. He's no great sleuth, but he seems more inclined than his colleagues to discover the truth in the Hawkins case. The inhabitants of this island seem to be friendly with him. He could help me in my investigation. Silas Winchester, the old caretaker of the Hawkins family. Silas Winchester still watches over the family graveyard in the burned mansion. Devoted to Charles Hawkins, whom he all but raised, he also has great respect for the memory of Sarah Hawkins and their child Simon. His long months of solitude in the abandoned property have made him very distrustful. Silas still puts flowers on the graves of Charles, Sarah, and Simon. And somebody smashed Charles. Flower vases. The Hawkins mansion is perched at the top of a steep cliff. The abandoned garden harbors the graves of the Hawkins family, and only the old caretaker, Silas Winchester, still roams this bleak spot. He protects it fiercely and still puts flowers on the graves of his old masters. It's a gloomy place. I've got hold of the key that opens the door to the tradesman's entrance of the Hawkins mansion. I hope that it was worth the risk. I can. Okay, but it doesn't do anything.
Who left this light on?
Are there rats in the walls? Like the Lovecraft story, The Rats in the Walls?
Supper of the Hawkins. What does this tell me?
What is that? Hold on. Before we do that, I want to see what this is. What is that? Were they eating a Cthulhu? I think they were eating a Cthulhu. Look at that shit.
What kind of meat is this?
That's what I said.
This place is for the head of the family, Charles Hawkins. The boy was probably here, smashed his plate on the floor. Sarah Hawkins' plate. Why did she leave it untouched? Something happened at this table. An argument?
What kind of argument?
Hey, Pierce. Daydreaming again?
Working, officer. This dinner table tells us a lot about the Hawkins family life.
Well, we don't have all day. The scene of the fire is next door.
Thought it started in the dining room.
Silas managed to bring the fire under control, but it was already too late for the Hawkins.
Charles and Sarah's wedding was painted by Sarah herself.
Seems more pleasant than her other ones. Although he looks very much like,
Was Charles Hawkins some kind of explorer?
Charles Hawkins poses like an explorer in front of exotic ruins. It is common knowledge that he wasted away his fortune on expensive trips. What was he looking for? He does look like Rasputin in that photo.
Let's see if I can find something the cops missed. The child's corpse left a trace. Where are the others? If the painting I found on the docks really came from here, how come it didn't burn? Was Charles Hawkins a heavy drinker?
We know that. We know that from the bar.
They had a fight. Why? Did it stop at the time of the fire? Did Sarah Hawkins lose one of her shoes? How?
Oh no. Don't like that. What else is there? Is that everything? I don't see anything else. I can't back out, so I'm assuming that there's still something here. Can I walk out?
Did someone escape the fire?
Alright, there we go.
Blood. This lamp was thrown. This was no accident.
Who threw it?
This was a fight.
Sarah throw the lamp?
Someone fell here. A desperate attempt to flee. And the boy.
So, Detective, what do you make of it?
Much of this evidence simply contradicts the investigation's findings.
Really? Tell me about it.
I found a bottle of whiskey. Empty.
Well, that must have been a loss for you.
No glass. I suspect one of them drank heavily to calm down. Charles, most probably.
That's pretty thin. Who says that bottle hadn't been there for a while?
I can tell where young Simon was, but not his parents. Where were their bodies found?
I can't help you on that one. Charles and Sarah's bodies had already been carried away when I got here.
Convenient.
Without your authorization. By whom?
Marshall, Andrews, Chief West. We never deal with cases like that, you know. So... well...
It would seem at least one person fled the crime scene.
What'd you say?
That mark on the door. Someone's hand slid down there. The left side has no mark. The door was open and that someone left.
For God's sake. I mean, if it's Charles or Sarah, they wouldn't have left their son.
They would rather die in the flames as a family instead of calling for help? I don't buy it.
Oh, yeah?
I was under the impression the fire started around midnight.
Yes, Silas banged on our door around 1 a.m. Poor devil ran so hard he was almost belching his lungs out.
Gross.
This clock burned before 10 p.m.
That's impossible. What you imply? Silas never would have hurt the Hawkins family.
I'm not blaming Silas.
Besides, Dr. Fuller confirmed the hour of death in his report. Your clock must have already have stopped.
Dr. Fuller?
A brilliant surgeon, and a friend of the family. I'm sure he took the matter to heart. So, excuse me if I value his opinion over yours.
So be it. Let's move on. I suspect this lamp caused the fire.
That's what the investigation suggested, too.
But does your report mention the bloodstains? The lamp didn't fall, it was thrown at someone.
For heaven's sakes, no. The report doesn't mention that.
I firmly believe this fire was more than just an accident.
Huh. What's your theory?
I think the Hawkins couple got into a fight.
You sure of that?
There's only one way to be sure.
we have 6 yet? We have 7. Okay. Spot hidden or investigation? Let's go investigation. Since the fire in the Hawkins mansion, the dining room has remained intact. The settings allow the places occupied by the family members to be determined. Visibly, etiquette was respected, even in private. Charles Hawkins sat at the head of the table, with wife and son on either side. The knocked-over chair could be due to something that happened after the fire, or it could confirm the theory of a domestic argument. Clearly, the roast was untouched in certain places. Clearly, the roast was untouched in certain plates. The meat, mysteriously preserved since then, seems to have been the subject of the dispute between the Hawkins couple. Charles Hawkins poses. We saw that. According to the police report, this lamp is the cause of the accidental fire that destroyed the mansion. However, bloodstains on the debris tell a very different story. Glass of this heavy clock is broken and the hands show 10 o'clock. It could give the time of the fire or have nothing to do with it. A partly burned shoe. It seems like it belonged to Sarah Hawkins. Contradicting the police report, the Hawkins drawing room tells a totally different version of the fire that claimed the whole family, beginning with the presence of a handprint that throws up the possibility of a survivor. The bodies of Charles and Sarah Hawkins left no mark on the floor, nor, to that matter, in the drawing room, contrary to that of the child, still visible close to the fireplace. The same goes for the glass shards on the floor. A close inspection reveals the presence of blood on several of them. On the wall, the very clear mark left by the painting found in the Hawkins warehouse confirms that the Hawkins case could be much more than a domestic accident.
I just ask that you don't disturb anything. If Chief West found out about what we're doing, I'd be in serious trouble.
This door is locked.
Okay. History of medicine in the 18th century. This collection of medical knowledge and health practices in the 18th century actually only covers the so-called civilized countries. It does not deal with the influence of holistic medicines or medicines from continents considered inferior. Gross.
These bandages are covered in dried blood. The same bandages that I saw in the warehouse on the docks. And given the bloodstains, I'd also say that it's the same person.
It's difficult to believe, but okay. Difficult to believe that you can determine the personage, not difficult to believe that it's the same person, just to be clear.
The lyrics of the drunken sailor, a sea shanty.
What do you do with the drunken sailor? Put him in charge of an oil tanker.
An original edition of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, dated 1818.
Oh, I love Frankenstein. I should reread Frankenstein at some point as well.
Moby Dick, Melville's classic. The epic battle between man and whale.
I think you might have missed a few of the themes there. A copy of the novel Moby Dick by Herman Melville, a classic, especially for a family of ship owners. Let's see. There we go.
Mandatory reading for any whaler, I guess. This piano is in disrepair. Looks like the Hawkins kept it more for decoration than for music. A book on the first inhabitants of the island. It seems they got here around the 14th century.
Wasn't the Reverend John Wick from the 17th century, though? So who came here before the settlers? Colonizers.
This place was falling apart long before the fire.
Yeah. I'd say that's probably accurate. Is that Dracula?
Greek mythology. Hecate, goddess of the dead, daughter of Tartarus, and mother of Scylla.
And Cryptus. Alright, this is the stairs that we couldn't get up over there. Is there something back that way? Let's look over here for now.
A book on hunting whales, the island's staple diet last century. One of Sarah Hawkins' paintings. Her style sure is recognizable.
There's the Desert of the Unreal again.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Another story about the mysteries of the deep.
A rare edition of Jules Verne's novel. Alright, I think that's it for the library.
What could Sarah have done to make this person threaten to call the police?
Dear sir, as you know, I have always held you and your family in high respect. Unfortunately, I can no longer continue to close my eyes on the behavior of your wife. Last week she, again, terrified my clientele. I know that she means no harm, but you should place her in the care of Dr. Fuller. He alone seems to be able to make her come to her senses. If these disturbances were to recur, believe me that, although it would feel like torture, I would be obliged to involve the police. Respectfully yours, Anton Willard. Why does it sound like Jason is behind me?
Locked.
Something's hidden here. But where?
What will her room reveal about her?
I've got one of those too.
Barbiturates. Sarah Hawkins must have been extremely agitated resorting to such a treatment.
Barbiturates. They act as a depressant of the nervous system, but once you begin, you can never live without them. Of that I know something. Sarah Hawkins' sketches look more like a gallery of horrors than anatomical studies. Do they represent what haunts her at night? Occultism progression.
Perfect.
I believe that's a summoning circle.
Was Sarah Hawkins interested in the occult?
I would say that's an understatement.
This ledger lists all of the paintings Sarah Hawkins sold.
Painting for Boston client, painting for JF, painting for Boston client, painting for Boston client, painting for FS, painting for JF, painting for FS, painting for Boston client, painting for FS, painting for FS, painting for FS. Painting for Dr. F, painting for AD, painting for FS, painting for Dr. F, in return for treatment. The Shambler for FS. Gift.
It seems the last one was given for free to a Francis Sanders. I wonder why. Locked.
You don't want to comment on the scratch marks all over the room?
Despite what happened, they seem to have loved each other.
Fate brought us together, and forever it will bind us. Charles Hawkins scribbled a kind word to his wife. Don't think I'd call that a sweet nothing. Alright, is that everything here?
Bradley? Is that you?
I don't think that's Bradley. Do you open? You do.
The boys' room. A child's fort. From what threat was Simon protecting his world? Tom Sawyer. Mark Twain. Sarah must have read it to him before bed. Sleeping pills. Strong for an 11-year-old boy. What was wrong with this family?
I would assume he probably has visions similar to his mother.
What nightmarish vision could have inspired them?
Night terrors.
Simon's troubles went beyond family problems. That kid saw something. Something terrified him.
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Because. Alright, and this door is locked because it leads into that room. Nothing else over there. Let's go up. Oh, there's still something hidden here. Where at, though? Not on the bookshelf. Not under the chair. Not over here. Now I'm too far. God, this is driving me crazy. Where are you? Show me your secrets. The key that opens the door to Sarah Hawkins' office was concealed. And we already got in by picking the lock instead. Now we can open it from the side. There we go. Much better.
Is anyone there?
You! Stop!
Bradley, did you see which way he went?
Who? I didn't see anyone. I just heard some noise. Are you all right?
A man was hiding on the upper level. He ran when he saw me. He can't be far.
All right.
I'll cover you.
Oh, okay. Cool. Glad you told me that now.
This door was closed earlier.
Where did he go?
As if the bookcase has been moved several times. This globe seems to have been part of some mechanism.
Do you really think that your fugitive came in here? I don't see any way out.
All right, we need to find a
Doesn't work. I must have missed something.
longitude and latitude.
Seems like this came from a log.
Darkwater Island, 42 north, 70 west. Captain Hamilton is confident. He says that we'll beat the Orpheus this season. May God be merciful. I preferred it when the whales disappeared without traces. With these carcasses, we can no longer ignore their sad fate. What is eating these huge beasts? I told Hamilton that it was a bad omen. He doesn't care. We dropped anchor near a village. The inhabitants say that the waters are red with the blood of the sacred beast, and to follow them is to defy the gods. I told them that I only feared God Almighty, but in the loneliness of the hold, I'm scared. We have sighted a huge whale in the distance. It seems, its size seems to be beyond anything known to man. It sends out an infernal song. Hamilton wants it. We've caught it. It's the most grotesque whale I've ever laid eyes on. It will go into memory as the biggest catch ever. Men have died, but we have gained glory. This day will be celebrated for years to come. We have beaten the Orpheus, returned with empty holds. The Scylla and Hamilton are only memories. So, 33 north, 53 west. Okay. 33 north. .33 north, and then 55 west. 53 west. There it goes.
Looks like it worked.
I don't want to go out there yet.
Done. It looks like a freehand map of Darkwater. Certain areas have been highlighted. I wonder why.
A map of Darkwater, hand-drawn by Charles Hawkins. Some places have been circled.
Clearly, Charles Hawkins knew Captain Fitzroy very well.
In this photograph, Charles Hawkins and Captain Fitzroy are posing with the third man. They seem close. Is that Dr. Fuller?
I wonder who the man with the glasses is in the photograph. Probably another friend of Hawkins.
Oil.
It looks like an old Seaway map.
Somebody has added coordinates to this old sea map. They make up a journey.
Looks like the navigational paths described in the log. This Dr. Fuller, was he Sarah Hawkins' therapist?
Charles, I understand your worries, but I assure you that Sarah is in good hands here at the Riverside Institute. It goes without saying that her state requires very specific care and a high level of attention. Her full potential will only be able to express itself if she is placed in a secure environment and surrounded by qualified staff. The decision is yours, of course, but I seem to understand that you are running out of time. Your friend, Thomas Fuller.
They look like Celtic runes. Charles must have brought them back from one of his foreign trips.
All right. You have anything to say?
You've seen the old maritime maps on Charles Hawkins' desk.
Strange. No ship has left Darkwater's shore for years. Maybe he kept them for sentimental reasons.
All right.
The Scylla. It's the boat that was stranded at the entrance to the harbor.
Anything else that we can find? No? Oh, we're at 5 character points already. How much do we need for investigation? 6? I think we should probably max out investigation first. The Hawkins mansion was falling into ruin well before the fire that claimed its residents. The building, once luxurious, today lies witness to the ruin of the Hawkins family. The paintings of Sarah Hawkins are spread throughout the corridors. Moisture eats away at the books of the imposing library, and the windows are broken and condemned. The drawing room, where the fire started, revealed it to be more than just a domestic accident. Sarah Hawkins' office bears the signs of an occult practice, and no doubt a huge creature left its marks on the walls of a corridor that leads to his workshop. As for Charles Hawkins' office, it revealed the passage into a network of underground caves. If the creature is not yet anchored in our dimension, an expulsion ritual might work, as long as the person performing it makes sure that he integrates the Elder Sign among the glyphs that make up the ceremonial circle. Be careful, though, because the works that describe the creation of such circles are not all of proven reliability. Extract taken from The Malleus Bestiarum by Abigail G. We read that. 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 In the little boy's room, an abandoned book on the bed and toys scattered on the ground talk about the everyday life of a normal family, but the disturbing drawings and sleeping pills raise suspicions that even Simon Hawkins may have been suffering from mental illness. Was the boy able to see things like her mother pretended to be? Map of Darkwater, hand-drawn by Charles Hawkins. Small, polished stones decorated with Celtic runes, probably used for divination rituals. They are mostly found in Europe. Alright, let's go on.